let's get started with some questions for Dane. The floor is yours. Jeff, how could you get us started?
Greetings, Dane. Thanks for joining us. It's Jeff Hawkins from the Charlotte Post. How big of an influence has Dan Morgan been on your career? I know he was on the team to help draft you, and I signed you as a free agent. And second part is what type of team is Morgan building in his first year as GM?
First of all, he's been a great influence in my career. I would like to thank him for a lot, just for giving me a chance. He was a big advocate coming out for me when he was in Buffalo, and just getting me on the team and believing and trusting in me. And the same thing when I got here. During the process, just talking with my agent when him and my agent were talking back and forth. It was just how much he believed in me. So I gotta tip my hat off to him and give him a lot of thanks for that. And I think he's just building a team, a strong team, sturdy team, just a competitive team. Just want to win, just trying to find ways to put pieces together to help us win.
We'll go with David Newton.
Dane, welcome to Charlotte.
Appreciate it.
I wanted to ask you, were there conversation or something when you and Dan met during the pre-draft process that you recall that may have really struck a chord of why he was so passionate about wanting you in Buffalo and now here?
I don't recall any conversation. I didn't really talk to Buffalo during the draft process, so I honestly had no idea I was going to go there. But once I got there, that's when I learned that how much he was advocating for me and how much he believed in me. And like I said, I just felt like that helped grow our relationship once I got there for sure.
And you played for a pretty good defense in Buffalo. What do you see here at Carolina? Any pieces missing to get them to that level, or where do you see this group compared to what you've been used to?
We kind of just bringing it all together, just piecing it together, just taking it day by day here right now, I haven't really got on the field with the guys, but I know everyone in our room and everyone on defense, they're ball players, they're here for a reason. We're all here for a reason, so you can see what type of team he's building for sure.
Appreciate it. Thanks.
No problem. Appreciate
you. Let's go John Ellis, followed by Mike K. John, you on mute.
Leave it to the radio guy to be on mute. Dane, good to meet you, man. I'm sorry about that.
Good to meet you, too. All good.
Welcome to Charlotte. You know Dan Morgan well, obviously, and you're getting to know your teammates well, I'm sure. Have you gotten to know your counterpart, J.C. Horn, over the years, and your thoughts on his game?
Great player. One of the best corners in the game, in my opinion. Before I got here, I was watching a lot of tape, and I'm actually sitting behind him in meetings right now, just picking his brain. I'm a year older than him, but that don't mean nothing. He's one of the best corners, so I could learn a lot from him, just picking his brain on what he does, what's his comfort zone on the field and all like that. So great corner on the field, and he's a great guy off the field as well.
Appreciate it.
No problem.
Hey, Dane. Welcome to Charlotte. Mike K. from the Charlotte Observer.
Thank you. Appreciate
hope
it.
you're doing well. As a former 7th-round pick, obviously you got to kind of grind your way, up the depth chart, and you were able to start in Buffalo. What was that process like in competing to make it up the depth chart and then ultimately finding a role over the last 4 years?
For me, that's just the story of my life. You know what I mean? That's kind of, when I started playing, it's just been like that for pretty much my whole career. So, it's kind of like second nature at this point where I just understand that everything is earned, So I'm never going into a new year or the last year, or what I done last year or nothing like that. So just trying to earn my keep, earn my stay and, be a good teammate.
You're probably going to compete for a starting role this off season. What's the challenge for you playing in a new system, playing in a new, city, having the family here, and your outlook towards the off season?
I feel like it's just taking advantage of this time. During this time, during this process, during OTAs, it's kind of where you get introduced to a lot of new things and, just exploring the city. Obviously, number one reason I'm here is to play ball. So just learning the defense, learning the terminology, learning everything that they do here and applying it to my game.
I guess my last question for you is Dan Morgan's talked about that dog mentality and he wants dogs in the building. When you hear that, what does that mean to you? What is that mentality to you? And why do you think you fit into that mentality?
Honestly, it's just being myself. You know what I mean? That's like I said. That's been the story of my life. Climbing up the ladder, getting it the hard way. So I feel like just being myself is that's going to take me a long way. You know what I mean? He's saying that for a reason. So as long as I can keep showcasing that, then we'll be good. Appreciate it.
Let's go, Joe Person.
Hey, Dane, it's Joe with The Athletic. Welcome.
How you doing? Appreciate it.
I appreciate you. Wondering if who else you were talking to in free agency, and if the opportunity to come here and compete for a starting position did that make the difference, or what did lead you to Charlotte?
I felt like the biggest thing that led me to Charlotte, honestly, was Dan. You know what I mean? Like I said, throughout the process, there were a few other teams that were interested, but this is passion. You know what I mean, for the way I play the game and our previous ties in Buffalo. You know what I mean? Just that comfortable aspect that I felt from him, and that my agent was feeding me from him as well. It was like a no-brainer.
We in the media and even fans have kind of had some fun over the years since Bean and McDermott went up to Buffalo. All the players that have kind of come back and forth from Carolina to Buffalo. Do you guys in the Buffalo locker room, in the Bills locker room, did you guys, talk about that sort of pipeline as well?
Oh, for sure. I remember my rookie year, we was calling us the Carolina Bills. Everybody coming over, the guys like Vern, Starr, Mario, all those type of guys. You know what I mean? Those are guys that kind of brought cultures back and forth. You know what I mean? And it meshed well. It meshed very well.
Do you feel like because of that, did you hear stories about this place and maybe a little more familiar with it than you would have been otherwise?
Not really. Not really. I mean, obviously, those guys told stories about like where they came from and everything, but I was still young, so I was still kind of figuring it out myself and everything like that. So that wasn't that much of a factor. Appreciate it.
All right, let's go, David Newton.
I want to ask you, you didn't have football at your first high school, correct?
Correct. Yep.
Yeah,
Well,
so
my freshman year, I did that, and that after that, the program ended.
So you transferred to another school to get into football, or was basketball your first love? And
basketball was definitely my first love growing up, for sure. But after my freshman year, where they canceled our program, we ended up merging with another school. So I stayed in the same school, but I just played football for another school across the river. And like after school, they would just do the normal route in our area and then take us over there, take the maybe 10, 12 players over there that wanted to play.
Okay. And so, and you mentioned several times, it's kind of your path has always been to have to fight and to be the dog to earn your way. Any other examples of that you can tell us about that really impacted you, showed your dog in you that you had to fight back?
I mean, I feel like it's just my upbringing. You know what I mean? It's kind of instilled in me. Just figuring out life. You know what I mean? Some like where I come from is not the greatest place, so. You know what I mean? Just navigating through there alone that'll instill that mentality in you for sure.
What do you mean by not the greatest place?
I mean, this is like a lot of us deal with, crime and just things like that. Not kind of like poverty, but just figuring it out.
Right. So you've seen a lot.
I've seen a lot for sure. I've seen a lot.
Thanks a lot.
No
I
problem.
appreciate it.
No problem.
Let's go, John Ellis.
Here we go again. John Ellis, iHeart Radio, Dane again, unmuted. You were in college, obviously at Pitt, and if I'm not mistaken, you were the only team to beat Clemson in 2016, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Clemson, Panthers played their first season down there in Death Valley. Did you ever give any of the Clemson guys any grief over that in Buffalo? I know they had some pipeline guys from the Tigers, Shaq Lawson and the guys like that. Did you ever? I mean, that's a hell of a team that year. I covered that team 15-1, but how was that game looking back? And just, do you ever talk to the Clemson guys about that win?
I haven't talked to Clemson guys about it, but I do remember. I think they ended up winning the championship that year. Yeah,
Yep.
I remember us playing around in this BS and talking about like it's like we won a championship really. It was nowhere near close, but that was kind of the ongoing joke about it.
It's a great game, man. We'll see you around, Dane. Thanks.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Any more questions for Dane? All right, thank you, Dane. You have a
No
good
problem.
day.
Appreciate y'all. Thank you.